Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched the second episode of the Real Housewives, the Orange County reunion.
So close to being over.
I know.
Thank you, Jesus.
I think you mean thank you, Jesus Jugs.
I was trying to hold back, but yeah. Go.
I was thinking about it while we were watching it. There's two things about Orange County, and I think, one, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's the fourth Housewives we watch every week.
Oh, so right, yeah.
I just am a little burnt out by the time we get to Orange County. But there's just something about how they argue with each other that just doesn't add up and make sense to me, that it makes me feel stupid. Like, it makes me feel like, how come I don't understand what's going on? And so is part of that...
What is it? It's just like, is it the circular nature of it?
Yeah. It's like there's just something that I can't... It's like when you have a knot in your shoelace, you can't untangle. Like, there's something about the way they're arguing I can't untangle. And so it makes me feel like I'm dumb.
Well, you're not. It's just the argument's dumb. I mean, They basically... This was like the filler episode, it felt like, because not a lot really got... Nothing really moved, further. It was just like recycle, and then there wasn't any resolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it probably isn't just me.
No.
But yeah, I'm definitely ready for this season to be over.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so like basically, because I was walking over here saying like the episode title should be Beating a Dead Horse, because that's what they did with the Katie and Heather of it all, like part 2 with Emily jumping in again. It's just like, let's just let it go. You don't like the girl. You think she's a liar McLierston, and her daughter's a big liar, and she makes TikToks about them sucking D. And, just like leave it at that. And I didn't know about the TikTok part of things. I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
Well, I mean, I think also Katie, whether, what was Katie supposed to do? Like, oh, I'm taking away your car if you don't take down that TikTok.
And it's already out there in the world. You can't really...
Well, I mean, that's not a reason to leave it out there, but like, she's her own person. She can't be like, take that down.
Right.
Like, it'd be like going to one of your friends and being like, can you take that down of me? I don't like the way I look in it. And they're like, whatever, you can't make them do anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean... Could she have tried harder? Like, do you think she, like, I mean, well, I don't believe for a minute that she was like, oh no, take it down. I'm sure she's like, oh darn, there's a bad TikTok. Who cares?
Well, also, I feel like, they not got to a good place, but like Heather apologized after like the interrogation of Katie Janelli last episode. And they seem to be like, okay, it is what it is, not a resolution, but like it is what it is, and then to like go back to it, and they had to, but it's like, couldn't they like cover that in the same segment?
Yeah,
that's why I feel like filler. Like, why are we going back to when we could have just discussed it at the same time?
I think because this episode had a little more about Emily in it, and so they were kind of bringing the Emily's.
Well, because Emily inserted herself in so many things. I get it. You're a lawyer.
I don't know if you caught it. Did you know that she's a lawyer?
Oh my God. She's a lawyer. Like, it reminded me of like Star Jones on The View. She would always be like, I am a lawyer. Or this is Tracy Morgan being like, I'm a lawyer.
Right.
So as a lawyer, I can speak to these law things. And it's like, you're not being paid. These are not billable hours. Like, take it down a notch about like every little thing. Like, it was just like, whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think my issue with this reunion, and maybe, I don't know, like, I guess you're right, when they don't get to any sort of resolution, is that the things they touched on this reunion episode were all the things that I really didn't quite either care about or just really feel strongly about during the rest of the season. So, like, they touched on Gina and Travis. Every time someone's named Travis, I want to call them Tyler. I don't know why. Same name in my head.
I feel that we got, like, a bit more information. It made sense finally, because they were like, why does this not make sense? Why she can't live in the same house, and they're regressing. And then it was just like her saying, like, if I'm not in the situation, if I'm not living in it, then she can't start shit. She being the ex-wife.
Right.
That's all she had to say. You don't have to go into like what exactly the ex-wife is doing. Wait, they're not even divorced yet.
So no, but they're in
the ex.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go into great detail. All she had to say was, I had to get my kids away from this. They are scared. It's not a good environment. I love him dearly, but I just can't.
I feel like she suggested that enough earlier in the season that
She didn't. She really didn't. She made
said
it so
something
confusing. No,
I kind of got that it was because of the ex and whatever, but like, again, it's just the thing I don't care about because I'm like, I already think.
No, because she made it seem like we're too many people in the house and we can't afford to like buy a bigger house. She did not explain it well. That's her fault.
She didn't explain it well, but I mean, I think she did make reference.
Not until the end of the season. Not until the end of the season.
God, OC pisses you off.
It really does. Makes me angry.
Might have to send OC off to Miami. We won't do OC next season.
No, I need a break. But yeah. So that's why I felt like, oh, finally, like, ding, that's why. And so I wish I would have cared a bit more about Gina if I had known this, instead of being like, what are you doing, girl? Like, why are you leaving that house? And now you're in 2 houses, and Meatball's all sad because he's going back and forth.
Poor little Meatball.
So yeah, so that was like the one resolution we got. Katie and Heather went 10 steps back. Heather performed like, what have I done to you? That let's like, stop acting for me, Heather. I like you enough this season. I don't need this soliloquy. Thank you, ma'am. So they didn't go any further. And then like Emily, and Heather are in a cool place. They apologize. I like that Heather said, you know what, I was pissed and I made a low blow about the tight dress. And she owned up to it. So that was, or the tight jacket. That was cool. And then there was, going about Tamra goes too low. I just can't with Jenn. Like, one, she tried, and they're always naming things off on fingers, these girls. I doing it too. One, you tried to be Tamra by being like, where did Eddie sleep? Girl, like, why are you concerned? Eddie wasn't sleeping in your bed. Like, and then the whole, like, the punchline was, he was so mad with you, he had to sleep in the casita. So what? That's not a good read, girl. Shut up.
Yeah.
That annoyed me.
It all because she heard it from Gina, who was there the next day. Like, you're playing the telephone game and...
Much like the, I was going to say red herring, much like the smoking gun. Right. This is not a smoking gun.
Yeah.
Whatever he slept on the couch, they're still together. I don't believe for a second that Eddie is involved as Ryan is on his good day with all this women's drama. So shut up, Jen, about that too. And then like, you go too low. Well, woman up.
Yeah.
And like, this is Housewives. Like, she's giving you something to react to. Be grateful. Otherwise, we'd still be talking about your like ex and like, not paying child support and paying $2,000 for a dress or not, or
which they even got into that too long of a segment.
And then she has Ryan's car. Ryan bought a new car, but she's making the car payments.
Yeah, I don't need to know all the details of her financial.
Like, she was about to give us like an Excel spreadsheet about this is what I pay every day, and
would it have been multiple pieces of note paper? Like,
no, she's not Shannon. I think she's at least a bit brighter than that.
Wait, she doesn't know what her car payment was, but you think she knows how to use Excel? Get out of here.
Ryan showed her. She took a tutorial.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm glad. So yeah, but the fact that she and Gina are okay, that was fine, whatever. But for the most part, I am tired of Jenn. Like, I am tired of Shannon, and this gets us to the Alexis of it all. So here's the thing. I will continue to die on this hill of Alexis Bellino. Not all the time, because I can point out, girl, you're doing too much. But for the most, and like, I will admit, Shannon got some good zingers there with, like, you're a friend of, and, how many times did she practice that? Because she had some good, quick comebacks, and Shannon Bedore ain't always that quick. So she did some rehearsal too. It's the reunion, whatever.
Right.
So anyways, I'm dying on the Alexis Hill. Like, I don't think she's as bad as people paint her out to be. Like, whatever, Shannon, you took her job. It's just exhausting by now.
Yeah, like, I don't know what Shannon was trying to like prove by being all like, oh, but apparently this is your career, and like the whole ending of the episode where she's
and it's not yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's unless you're selling or unless those colognes you're selling are going blockbuster,
Right.
not or gangbusters, like this is your main source of income too. That's why when you talk about like, maybe I won't come back, girl, you need the money.
Yeah.
You will come back. So like you both need the show. You both want to be on the show. Just because you're full-time and Alexis is a friend, you're still on the damn show.
Right.
Okay. Sometimes a friend can be like more than a housewife.
I enjoyed Shannon's little asides to Gina because you could tell that they were just instinctive of like she had to say them or else like she just had to. Kind of reminded me of my mom when my mom just couldn't contain herself.
Oh, yeah.
She just turned to Gina like Gina wasn't asking for it, but she was like, oh, her career. It's like, who are you saying that to?
Yeah.
Not like Gina was over there like giving her a high five after.
Basically, even Andy was giving her a high five, like, don't talk about that. And she was like, oh, I won. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it was just like, we're all on the same platform. Maybe some are getting paid more than others, as she showed me that TikTok. But like, whatever. At the end of the day, you need this show desperately.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to leave this show. Like, and she did you a solid by giving you something to react to when we could have just talked about your DUI all day long.
Mm-hmm.
See, comma Karen. So it's just whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. This episode was just
And like rehashing the Bellino like lawsuit and the back and forth of that. I don't care who defamed who or didn't defame who lost money on it, whatever, you know. I will say, and Alexis should not be John's mouthpiece. Like Tamra tried to like give her that advice. She didn't take it. Yes, she was giving the same talking points as John. Makes sense. They live in the same house. Well, actually, they're not.
but spent a lot of time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like she should have not taken the fight on for him and just been her own person and not been so like hyped to be like John's like hype person, basically. So I will say that I will agree. She came in too hot. She did too much, but she's not the worst person in the world that Shannon Medore and Emily, as we see her trying to make her out to be. You know, that's the one thing they'd say, like Gina and Shannon were like, oh, look at Emily's face. Because Emily was just so pissed off. Like, why are you why are you so angry, Emily?
I think Emily just doesn't want to hear her talk. Like, it's probably to the point where, like...
Well, and Alexis talks smack about her, too.
Right, and Alexis' voice to her is probably just grating. This way, you know, there's certain people you don't want to, like, be around sometimes. You're just like, oh, God, if I hear one more word out of their mouth, I'm going to punch myself.
Yeah.
So...
But, in things, when I wish it had been, and if she was full-time, this would have been brought up more, and I'm glad Annie brought it up, the fact that she and Heather have trans children. And it was nice that, you know, he threw that out there, like, how does this affect you? And she's like, well, I'm still, you know, spiritual. I still believe in God. But, you know, I think my viewpoint, I guess, is skewed a bit more.
I was a little confused by her answer, though, because it sounded like she still believes what she's always believed, but now it's just a little different. And I'm like, well, if before you didn't believe in LGBTQ rights, and you're saying you still, I don't know.
She definitely does, because like
I know that she does.
Yeah.
However, she was explaining it or whatever she
it would have been answered.
Was a little it was a little roundabout.
Yeah, it could have been answered better. Because I mean, she was like, she could have like kept this under wraps, but she like went full on. I think this was like 3 years ago. Instagram post like, "Hello world, here's my son," you know, blah blah blah, blah. Yay LGBTQ, you know. So, but I like that they had that discussion I wish they had on the show with her and Heather talking about the fact they have this in common and they've been sounding boards to each other. That was great. Also, when, you know, I don't think she went that because they didn't give her a chance to go into more detail about like how her mom just died right before she did the show, you know, and how that affected her headspace, you know. So I'm not trying to excuse behavior, but I'm just saying there's more.
No, but there's an explanation.
There's layers to her, and not just like John's mouthpiece or crazy Alexis or whatever. And that's why I get fired up, because I don't feel like, you know, I think she's an okay person. I don't know her. I'm not saying she's like the best person in the world, but I don't think she's the devil, and that she's being like portrayed as on the show or on social media, you know, whatever. That's my thing. I don't like when people are like pigeonholed, or like there's this like people speaking in absolutes of like, she is the worst. The whole world thinks this.
The whole pile-on mentality.
Yes, I hate a pile-on. Yes.
So, no, I agree on that.
Okay, I'm not going to be fired up anymore. Got that out.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you really covered everything. Nothing. I mean, yeah, it was all Katie and Jenn and really Alexis this episode.
Basically, yeah.
So, I mean, everyone reacted to something to do with each of those women, and that's really what was going on.
Yeah, Tamra didn't. It's funny that Annie was like, "So you're being sued by Ryan," and then that was like all there was.
Yeah.
I guess though he didn't want to like get her into deeper water, hot water, so he like, they didn't really go into detail about the whole thing, and I don't hear that Ryan's retracting or dropping the suit.
Right.
So, yeah,
we'll find out. So, I don't know. I was thinking about the fact that there's really not much to cover in this episode because, like you say, it's a filler episode. I'm thinking that the crap we started talking about after our Salt Lake episode yesterday, I should have just saved for today because it would have, made for a much more complex Salt Lake episode.
Well, there was not much of a, what am I thinking? The word
scandal,
not improvement, but not any additional information.
Yeah.
But
a real update.
Yeah. Updates. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, I just, again, it goes to being a pile-on as well right now. The way that the public, the fans jump on top of Teddy for what's going on in her life.
Right.
Like, it's just ridiculous. It's like the fact, I don't know, like, it's different from what you were saying about, Alexis and Shannon. This is their career, that sort of thing. Like, you could see Alexis maybe exaggerating certain things about her life in order to be more appealing and attractive to the fans and to the producers to have a larger role in the show.
Yeah.
But for someone like Teddy Mellencamp, who's not on the show, who, like, again, why would she explode her entire life during the off season? And the fans are like, oh, you're just trying to get on the show. It's just so stupid. And so, like, a lot of times fans in general, like even with New York, they're, coming down on Aaron, for the whole prank situation.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, convenient, you're pregnant now too. And it's just like,
there's nothing, it's just the time.
Right.
There's nothing to do with it.
Yeah. It's just like people want to like grasp so hard at there being connection between all these things.
But it's like they're grasping at really stupid straws because it doesn't have anything to do with their, no one is going to do that. No one's going to like have an affair, break up their family.
Bring up someone else's family.
Yeah, upset their 3 kids, uproot them, move into a hotel.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reality of things is like the more interesting story that I'm interested in hearing is, what was lacking that caused
how they got there.
Yeah, how did they get there?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, even with, hopefully this season on Beverly Hills, I don't think we will, but like with Kyle and Mauricio or Dorit and PK, like I'd like some honesty out of the situation to hear like genuinely what caused the rift that allowed, affairs to happen and things like that.
Right, because I think last year at Beverly Hills, we speculated that, Mo wasn't there for Kyle when her best friend died and they had been growing apart, but she never really gave us, and I don't need to know every detail, but I need to know, I would like to know a bit more of a why and a how, and not just like, things are bad. Well, how did things get bad? Because you were so happy for so many years.
Right. I'd like just a morsel, a nugget of sort of genuine truth to that. And so not that they owe us anything. I mean, they do owe us a little bit because they are on a reality show and, we're invested fans.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't need a tell-all like crying. I don't need an hour-long Kyle special. And I especially
I love Annie.
I especially don't need an hour-long Dorit special.
No.
But I do want to hear, what an actual like issue was.
Right.
Like, and not just like, oh, well, he was ignoring me. Why? Or like,
why communicating?
Yeah.
Like there's not like there's one major thing that happened, but like there's little things. And just like one of the little things, if we could, it could be more transparent about that.
Especially when we've been fed for so many years that like they have a perfect marriage.
And they're so happy.
So it's like, well, let us in on the fact that had you been telling the truth,
because I believe they were very happy, but like they're like any other person or any other couple where stuff happens, and like you're happy in 2014, but in 2024, not so much.
Was the pandemic? Is that what happened? You had to sit in the same room together for a year. So
in your large Beverly Hills Encino house.
Yeah, Encino for sure.
Yeah.
See, already like talking about this one little thing outside of the OC reunion, like that's more interesting to me than all the back and forth they were having during this reunion.
It was done back and forth. It was trying to like make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Make $1 out of 15.
And I know that they had to address it in a sense, I guess, to like give it validity for even being included in the season in the first place.
Right.
And so like they had to do it out of service to the fact it was there to begin with.
But then there wasn't the resolution. Like, I mean, you had Katie saying, well, maybe she could have lied. I don't think she is. I'm like, well, that's a big coulda, honey.
Yeah.
Like, did she or did she not? Like, who's lying? Your daughter or these like 8-year-old twins?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially I did like that the editors put together brought in her son saying it again, like,
and Heather again, like Heather took some notes. She watched all the episodes. She took her notes, and she's like, well, obviously he's heard this before because he spoke very eloquently about Heather again.
Yeah.
Like that was just like, whoa, girl. She was like, man, if I could take this mic off right now and bury this. But she knew the editors would use it, and they did. So.
Well, I mean, it just means that next week they'll wrap things up, and we'll be. I mean, I'm not saying I want OC. I'm glad OC is ending. I'm not happy that it's over.
Right. I'm glad this season is ending.
Yeah.
I want something new.
Right.
Because the dead horse is just like being beaten so hard.
I think if the season were still going, I'd be happy to keep watching it. But the fact that they ended the season and now they're trying to put a bow on it, just hurry up and put the damn bow on it.
Yeah.
I want a new gift. I want to open a different gift already.
A tacky white bow doesn't fit with the rest of the color scheme. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, on that note, until next time.
Until next time.